Scott Chicago, the way they keep comments, Trouble World, have a serene mind. I'm standing here with my friend. Introduce yourself.
My name is Walter.
Walter. Well, yeah, we had a discussion yesterday, and you remember yesterday you talked about your height. How tall are you? Because you
I'm
said
6'11".
so. You had to watch. You said sometimes you got when you go into a building, you got to watch your head. You know, because you said you get your head.
I hit my head a lot. Height many times is a problem for me when I walk around or go under doors, because most of tall people, that's a disability. Obviously, when you hit your head, but there's a lot of.
Okay, did you watch the All-Star game? Just because we talked, did you watch the All-Star game?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, so you don't watch basketball now?
I watch basketball only when certain teams playing, but the way this COVID virus have the stadiums, it just doesn't look the same or feel the same. But I watch college basketball, and once the NBA start their championship games, I watch that.
Now you said last time you said something like you saw guys play good as Michael Jordan, and one of my friends said that you probably meant to say that you knew somebody as good as Michael Jordan.
Well, both.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen some guys that when I was growing up, I was considered them great basketball players. They might not have the opportunity and the exposure that many people in high school or college played. I lived in various areas in New York. I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant, where Mike Tyson was born, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote a book when he was Lou Alcindor. The book was called Giant Steps. I read that. I don't know where it is, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was talking about the great players that he grew up with, the great players he played against in high school, and he knew. And there was one gentleman named Herman Helicopter Knowles. He never played basketball. He never went to college, but he jumped so high up in the air. That's why they gave him the nickname Helicopter. He would hover in the air and dunk everybody but loose. There was a guy named Menengoat. He would take a 50-cent piece off of the top of the backboard and score 57 points in college, but the coach didn't like him because he didn't play traditional basketball, and the coach didn't feel like he was a team player, but he was scoring a lot of points. And a lot of times when I would watch these players, particularly at the Rucker tournament, which
now where was the Rucker tournament at?
The Rucker tournament was
how's your lip? Last time we talked, you had hurt your lip. So
yes, my lip, the swelling has gone down.
Uh-huh.
I was walking and I made a misstep, and I was bleeding profusely.
Okay.
And it's better now. And that's what happens with a lot of tall people. You lose your coordination. You have spinal problems because you was jumping up.
So somebody ask you? People ask you every day how tall you are when you walk down?
Not every day,
okay,
but sometimes 10 times a day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I gotta literally go another way, because I know this guy been asking me for the whole year, twice a day, how tall you are, and I just don't say nothing. And sometimes I feel it's discrimination. It's
so you're not too tall for God now, right?
No.
Now, when you told me recently you had a heart attack. So when you had this heart attack, you wasn't thinking about basketball. You said you were thinking about Jesus, right?
I was thinking about Jesus and thinking about them ambulance getting me to the hospital.
So you are 71 years old. Are you going to take the COVID shot?
I don't. I'm hesitant to take that. I'm too.
So you have, in other words, we have freedom of choice. You're 71 years. See, the world now they tell you wash your hands, stay inside, and they legalize marijuana, so you can smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? That's we don't have to follow crowds.
Well, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
I don't have. There's no law that said I had to take it, and I don't really trust a lot of the medicine they put in my body, and I have to study more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't take it, but
But like this, it's meditation, which I study, says, and all
Yes.
you're doing, you know,
Yeah.
because you're 71 years old,
Yes.
you're not in kindergarten.
No, it's
and all you're doing is be patient,
Being
and
patient.
you'll be guided on the right course.
God-
Your choice might be a mistake for me.
yes, learning
So,
more
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And if Jesus wants me to take it,
Yeah.
He'll give me the direction to take it, because that's the same Jesus that has stopped me from drinking for over
Yeah.
30 years.
No
And that's
drinking.
the same Jesus who was with me when I fell and busted my lip.
Yeah.
And Jesus had an ambulance right next to me, taking somebody to the building, and the ambulance guy asked
Yeah.
me, "Are you okay, sir?"
And just like that train went by, if you get hit by a train, it's not the last car to caboose. It's always the first car the engine that kills. It's the
Absolutely.
first one that sets off phenomenon craving. You know, just because a billion people smoke cigarettes. You know?
Absolutely.
And like me, I ain't drank 31 years. I ain't smoked a joint 31 years, and I haven't gambled 31 years.
Absolutely.
I don't play scratch off, and I don't drink root beer. So it's cool to be a square. So he's a 71-year-old man, and his life has changed. You know, that's what it's about. Once your thinking has changed, your life has changed.
Yes.
And also, tell them about your master's degrees you have.
Yes, I graduated from high school when I was 20 years old. I was in special ed most of my early school life, and I wanted to get out of New York because I wanted to be someplace better. Of course, where I lived and how I grew up in foster homes early life, a lot of bad things happened to me, and I graduated from 2 universities. I retired.
And it's a good thing you work, you protected the children, because see, children are the closest thing to heaven. You know, a lot of stuff there's a lot of stuff going on in the world don't talk about, And it's good that you protected the children and stuff.
I didn't know that Jesus set me up for a job to protect children that were sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, and that was my life. That's what happened to me. So Jesus gave the right person the job. Jesus said, "Walter, you're the best person for the job, because you know personally what trauma and these children are going through." And I was in the right place. Jesus had me in the right place. He prepared me, and I didn't know it. So Jesus is the reason for the season.
Oh, thanks, Walt. So Mike Scott, Chicago. It's cool to be in Square. Beautiful day in Chicago. They're opening up. They open up some restaurants and things like that. Automatically, numbers are falling magically. But Houdini, it's, illusions, trick, magician. I used to deal with like magicians. So we saying that people now they're saying you can go to places and it's 50% capacity. So yeah, go ahead, Walt.
And I just want to say this: people have a right to believe in whatever religion or spiritual entity they want to believe in, and I do too. And the word God is a synonym. There's a whole bunch of words that stands for a higher power. I believe in Jesus. I'm not going to trade my Jesus, because he's the one that got me sober. He's the one who had me retire. He's the one who's teaching me how to deal with my bipolar, my agoraphobia, my panic attacks.
So what were you were scared of crowds?
So I'm scared of crowds.
Why? Because does people always in crowds? People stare at you because how tall you are.
People stare at me, and I was scared growing up. I didn't feel good about myself, but I feel better. I stuttered so bad with my speech impediment, people would laugh at me.
Okay.
And I realize now those people are ignorant, because that was a disability, and people have different disabilities. And I feel better about myself today. And I'm glad Mike is my friend. He's helped me learn how to deal with my anger. And he's a very spiritual person.
That's why I try to tell people pause for the penitentiary. I must control my emotions. I tell people to control their emotions, but don't let your emotions control me. Because right now, don't watch the news, because once the verdict comes out, it's going to be a bad verdict, and people are going to react off emotions. And we had last year, summer, we had rioting, we had a lot of confusion, because people was operating off of emotions. And anger, worry, and fear, those are 3 emotions, destructive to emotional balance. And see, the world's full of trickery. You couldn't go visit your parents in the cemetery. Walter lost his mother, my mother, both my parents died in 2012. But you can go to Benny's and buy a drink. That's how cold the game is. See, game recognized game. So, yeah, Mike Scott, Chicago, it's cool to be at Square.